Hello and welcome to the first of VGC's SGF podcasts, live from Los Angeles, California. I'm Jordan Midler, joined by Chris Gillian and Andy Robinson. Chris, how you doing?
Doing good. Didn't sleep much on the plane, but I'm doing well.
Despite the fact that Andy handed you a miscellaneous red pill as we walked through the
it's just in a clear bag, so I just took him at face value.
I've got the good stuff. Andy, how are you? You slept well?
All right, I had a lovely sleep. I took the red pill, as all fair-going citizens do.
Yeah, as all three thinkers do.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Not like this woke mob.
Yeah. Welcome to our new anti-woke gaming podcast. That's our rebrand.
Now we're in
I
America.
think I got about 4 hours. I played a bit of Switch 2.
Yeah.
Did a lot of work. I'm ready.
Yeah. I played a bit of Switch 2 as well. Played some Mario. Played some Pokemon. My hands were cramping after like 2 races in Mario. It's still too small for me. I need
It's the biggest thing on earth. What do you need?
It's because it's flat on the back. It's not like a controller style grip.
You need some of the D brand things.
So once those come out, I'll be quite happy.
Well, they're out.
Are they? Already?
Yeah,
okay.
they were emailing me.
Well, I might try and steal some of them because I like those. I have like the Pokemon ones, but it's a nice bit of kit. It's much nicer than the Switch one is. Like, it's not a toy.
It's like I said on the pod a couple of times. Like the original Switch felt like an off the shelf thing, didn't it? They were like, it almost felt like that was scrambled together. I know it probably wasn't, but it does feel like, well, who can supply us with a touchscreen to this spec, or this size that can fit things in, or here you go. Whereas this feels like a lot more of a much more premium product, right? The Joy-Cons are super, super nice.
Yeah. As soon as you put those magnets in as well.
The magnets are the best thing about it.
Because my OLED now, my Joy-Con's really loose, and my nephew had my old Switch, and he can't attach anything to it anymore. The rail's completely gone. These magnets look like they're going to stay there for the duration.
Can we introduce our energy drinks? Because I'm gasping.
Yeah.
I've been on a plane for 12 hours.
Don't know if you've noticed, but VGC likes energy drinks. I am not debuting a new one. This is my favourite in the world. It's Ghost Welch's Grape. It's just a really nice grape energy drink.
Can I try some?
Yeah. Do you want the first tan since I'll gobble it afterwards?
We're all friends.
It's so nice. It's just such a smooth grape soda. That's something you just can't get in the UK.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
I thought I was buying that, but instead I bought NOS GT grape, which I'm pretty sure I know Dom from Fast and the Furious drinks this. Although mine says calories in it, I noticed yours doesn't, which might be beneficial for me. Yeah, I'll watch it for you.
Very easy to watch your figure in America, famously. Place with lots of vegetables, lots of protein.
This has enhanced mental focus and high performance energy, so
we'll need that,
ladies.
We'll be laughing when you're mentally focused.
As soon as he takes a drink of this, he's going to go into the mainframe and tell us all the news.
No, unless he takes a red pill.
That's very nice.
Yeah, grape.
Yeah, grape.
Yeah,
grape juice.
Good.
I've gone for the Suntory Strong Zero Sochu imitation drink. It's best drunk at apparently minus 196 degrees.
Nice.
I don't quite think that a gigantic fridge stretches to that. But
I don't think
put the mic to your mouth.
It's famously 11% though, so cheers.
I
try some?
Yeah, I can.
You've never had one, have you?
No, I've not.
Cool. That's not the best one.
No.
Lemon is not a complimentary fruit for those drinks. I think you need like grapefruit or something.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't taste like anything.
No, it does not.
You could just throw them back.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them are. I mean, this is like 6%. Some of them are like legitimately like 12%. And the size of that.
Get more intimate with that mic of yours. Get it like here. Yeah, that's you. When I was in, it's not Ramondale. It's called like Ramen something on Shaftesbury Avenue in London, around the corner from Forbidden
Ramen
Planet.
Shafts.
Ramen Shafts. They had some kind of clear cocktail that was like soda and lemon. It was a sour something. And
lemon sour.
It got me battered. I had like 2 of them and I was absolutely wrecked and I didn't feel like I drank anything. So I saw an episode of one of the Abroad in Japan things where Chris goes and they just had one of those, a tap.
Yeah, it's lemon sour, yeah.
Oh, glory days.
It's like if you take a British person already from quite a drunk culture,
Yeah.
and you plant them in Japan, you get a Frankenstein's monster of drunk.
Yeah, I think next year's the year. But anyway, we talk about Japan enough. We're here for SGF. Going to be an interesting show. We've already seen Sony's state of play last night. Very briefly, what did you think of it, Andy? I thought you weren't there to watch it. You were.
I got to watch it afterwards, which was a nice little treat. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
It felt like it was tailor made for me.
Yeah,
like Lumines and Suda, and what else was on there? I forgot half it.
Neo 3.
the Pragmata thing.
Yeah, Pragmata looks good.
Yeah. Then
there was definitely another big one that I really liked, and I can't remember what it was.
I mean,
This is
Astro,
useful, isn't it?
obviously.
Get straight off an international long haul flight, and no one can remember.
I mean, I can just about that Marvel
that
Arc
looks
System
awesome,
Works
yeah.
game looks insane. An interesting one to end off with. Final Fantasy Tactics, people are going fucking bananas for. Starring friend of the show Ben Starr, which was funny because the moment his voice popped up, our Discord filled up with Ben Starr, Ben Starr, Ben Starr. And I texted him, I was like, "Are you allowed to say you're in this yet?" And he was like, "Good question." And then he posted on social media, so as indeed Ben, he's buzzing to be part of that.
Awesome.
Chris, we were saying they've kind of broken the stigma of these shows being shite. It's like they're a lot better at saying this is going to be a state of play specifically about this thing, like they did, because there's going to be a Yote one in July now. Yeah,
because the general consensus usually has been the showcases are the big ones and the state of plays are the ones we expect to be disappointed. But I think now what it basically appears to be is that state of plays are the ones that don't end with a big first party game.
Well, it's quite lacking on first party stuff.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's just filler bullshit. There was lots of really good stuff they showed last night. So I would imagine what that means going forward is that if they announce a showcase, then you can imagine more first party stuff, and if it's a state of play, then it's their partners.
Yeah, and as Andy said on a broadcast recently, Jeff's always got a PlayStation thing. This God of War thing is the most open secret in the world. We've been talking about it on this podcast for months. You imagine that's probably there. There's a lot of other stuff floating about that could have traditionally appeared at a Sony show, but yeah, I thought it was a good way to kick off. They've had their good show. Jeff's show's probably going to be good. The last 2 years of Xbox, we keep saying this is the best one they've done. Like
last year's was brilliant.
Yeah.
We can see from here where we sat last year and said that was so good. So at least from the whispers that are going about the Xbox show, it certainly seems like they've got the stuff. I look forward to playing it on my PS5 Pro. Best place to play. $50 off now. But
Listen, tell me when there's $500 off it, and I'll have a look.
I mean, a base PS5 is currently cheaper than the Switch 2, so...
Switch 2, what a console.
Andy, being looking out the window to the Staples Centre and the ghost of E3, what are the immediate memories that are flooding back to you now? Or have most of them been alcoholed away?
Blisters.
Yeah.
Being hungover.
Yeah. What would this day be?
Meetings.
What would this day be in the old days, the day before? Are you hitting the schedule?
It's a little bit out of kilter because obviously we're here now, we're speaking on Thursday, and then Jeff shows on Friday, and then there's a Play Days event which is a lot smaller than what E3 was over the weekend.
Yeah.
If we were coming free, it would now be Saturday.
Yeah.
Or traditionally it would, and everyone's got nothing. It's the only day you can socialise. Everyone would go out. And then the Sunday it would kick off usually with Xbox, and I'm thinking Ubisoft maybe afterwards. They were usually first.
Yeah, and then PlayStation would always be like 3 a.m. UK time. Like they would always go.
Yeah,
quite
but they'd be Monday
killer.
with Nintendo. Traditionally,
yeah.
and they'd be Monday, and then E3 would be, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think.
Yeah, and then it'd be
I think.
absolute chaos. How many people was it back then?
60k.
Jesus.
PlayStation that was always a killer covering it from home, because this is my...
It's a killer covering it from here, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Comes in, it's like 3 a.m, and they're showing bloody Africa.
Welcome back,
Africa with the bloody the rhino that comes out with the ears. I remember distinctly trying to stay awake during that press conference.
We're now going to have 45 minutes of Gran Turismo 5 running on PlayStation 3, so enjoy that.
Just engine noises. Like,
the joys of staying at Future though till the wee hours in the morning covering.
Was that an office job? Were you
it was an office job, and then trying to figure out, this is pre overnight tubes, trying to figure out how to get home after it. It's always fun. But no, I enjoyed that. But this is like all those years was me kind of doing it, like covering it from the UK. So this is actually my first time actually here. And granted, it's a lot smaller than it was. It would have been nice to have done a proper full E3.
Yeah.
But Gamescom's almost
wasn't the whole thing? Isn't Gamescom bigger?
Gamescom's bigger, but I enjoy.
But it's just not as it doesn't have that. I mean, Gamescom
doesn't have the massive.
Gamescom always existed through convenience.
Yeah.
Cologne, the city, is really well equipped to have lots of people in there.
Yeah.
In the calendar year, Gamescom benefited basically from E3.
Yeah.
You'd show a game at E3 and then you'd let people play it at Gamescom. Yeah. Whereas that pipeline doesn't really exist anymore because of E3 going.
Yeah.
There was a lot more. It was a razzmatazz here. I mean, it's a lot of things, right? Because LA's changed as well.
Yeah.
I said to you when you got here. I mean, my first E3 21 years ago, LA was like it felt like a different place. It's like pre-camera phones, like everywhere, right? It did really feel like that you could bump into anyone.
Yeah.
You know, there'd always be stories the next day like going, oh, Stevie Wonder was playing a piano in a hotel bar and such and such, and I saw Madonna. But which wouldn't happen now.
No.
Because then Sony used to always do a big party.
Yeah, they'd have massive parties.
They did Black Eyed Peas once, didn't they?
That is 20 years ago. The E3 was in May in those days. So it was 20 years ago last month. The Xbox 360 reveal, E3, and they had The Killers and Chemical Brothers, and there was about like 200 of us.
That's mental. I missed the days of celebrities just turning up for little reason. Like not little reason, but remember Ubisoft had brought out Pele once for some awful.
But EA brought out Muhammad Ali once.
EA also brought out Pele and had a countdown that was like timed to Pele.
Right. 15 minutes to Pele. 15 minutes to Pele.
It's weird that like. Obviously, there's no UB Forward, there's no EA show, there's no...
This is definitely feels like one of the weaker ones.
Yeah.
Even like the first one of these that... I mean, it's not really Jeff's show. It's IM8-Bit, the company IM8-Bit run Playdays, I should say.
Yeah.
For people at home watching the kickoff live stream, that is Jeff's show.
Mm-hmm.
The actual physical bit that we go to is IM8-Bit. You know, the first one they did, I think this is the fourth one off the top of my head. You know, it was pretty bare bones, but we were coming out of the pandemic and we were just happy to support an event, I think. And then, like, last year's was generally really good.
Yeah.
And the year before was, like, you know, got a little bit bigger, but it peaked like, I'm just, you know, just have the feeling this year that it's not going to be so strong. It feels like people don't have as many games around. I mean, you got to plan for this a long way in advance. GTA got delayed, a couple of weeks ago. You know, that's really kind of like disrupted everything because people didn't really know when they were going to come out. And you're seeing loads of games now like announce their release date for like September, October, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's safe to come out. But yeah, so I don't know. There's probably like fewer games at the moment.
I wonder if we get a situation where there's the actual Summer Game Fest show itself has a lot of big announcements, but for way into the future, and those don't then appear at the Playdays stuff. So for us, it's a lesser event, but in terms of that,
it's not difficult to work out. It's always the same companies that are there. Like, you know, the ones that support Jeff shows and the ones that don't. You only have to look at previous years to see who's there, right? It's not hard. It's like Capcom, Sega, PlayStation, Level Infinite, Bandai Namco, any Japanese publisher, basically.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, those are the ones who loved E3.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, back when Repop was trying to reboot E3, you know, I was told pretty much most of those were like, you know, verbally were like, yep, we're there. You know, because E3 was so important in their calendar. It's their kind of like, without the cliche, it's a gateway to the West, right? We'll go and do that show and, you know.
Especially because no one goes to TGS anymore. It's like a smaller kind of...
well, it's not really a global thing.
Yeah.
But again, you know, TGS is the same. You have the same companies that support their PlayStation, Sega.
Bring back the Shushinkai.
Yeah. I think that... so last year, there was big stuff, and the talk on the ground is like, you need to go and see Monster Hunter. Like, the Monster Hunter demo was crazy. Like, people were like sneaking each other in to see the Monster Hunter demo. I think this year it'll be smaller things. Like, you have to go and play this thing that's in like the Cabana section, because there's like for those who've never been, like there's like not public areas, but there's behind closed doors offices, and then there's a big area where a lot of different companies are together, and you can just watch screens and be like, oh, what's that weird thing, like so I think there'll be a lot of stuff like that, but I know my schedule. I'm looking forward to a lot of the stuff. I think it'll be interesting afterwards to see how it all shakes out, but there's not one thing on it that I'm like, oh my god, this is a pure game changer for me personally. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, same. There's stuff in my schedule that I'm looking forward to. Like, interestingly, there's already something in my Gamescom schedule which is more interesting.
GTA 6.
Of course, GTA 6. But no, the stuff that I've got down for is a combination of stuff I was looking forward to anyway, and stuff that I'm curious about. So hopefully I'll get some good stuff out of it.
I just want to see Hip Hop Gamer again. That's the only reason I'm here. He's the highlight of every trip to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Are they doing the theatre show of the Xbox thing where everyone can go?
No, I don't think they're doing it this year. Where you can sit in a room and watch a live stream.
Watch a screen, yeah. And go, yay!
Shame.
That is really missing, the actual live shows. Like,
yeah, and they wouldn't do it. And that's the one thing that, I get absolutely lambasted every time I give Ubisoft any sort of credit. But day one, they were back and they were doing the live shit, the show, the press conference. They were always decent as well.
Yeah,
and then last year for Ubisoft, they like turned the bottom half of a old theatre into like a cantina for Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, and they had like a whole like Japanese for Japanese
Assassin's
set,
Creed.
and they put a lot of effort in.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. We welcome the new Ubisoft Tencent overloads. Overlords, Jesus. God rest that too. It'll be an interesting show. I think coverage-wise for people that are watching this, it'll be a lot of kind of quick and dirty stuff, hands-on previews podcasts. We've got great podcast guests all weekend, including ones that people have been begging to come on for a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. And then
we tried to get Cilla Black, but unfortunately she's deceased.
So we'll get the Ouija board out and see if we can get comments on her thoughts on the show.
Yeah.
Andy, there's a dark cloud hanging over all of this that a new console just came out, and I feel very weird about it because there's like I don't know if there's no hype for the Switch 2 or there's just this weird fugue state that we're in specifically because we're pissed off about how it's all went on.
Well, you might be pissed off. It's I don't know, like it is what it is, right? I mean, we've been over this so many times. Like we've just seen, and you can see it yourself now, the amount of people that are queuing at midnight outside for midnight launches, right?
Yep.
When's the last time you can remember that happening?
Yeah.
Certainly not for the last decade. Because we had the pandemic, but and they knew that, right? We're going to sell this thing anyway, So why do you add an unnecessary variable where you actually engage with the press? I mean, obviously, it is whether people read reviews or not, it's quite anti-consumer, really.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not a fan of it. I don't think anyone is a fan of it. People listening to this, won't be happy about it.
Yeah.
It's interesting skimming through that Resettia thread where you get a mix of like, people, I don't care, and then there's a nice pushback actually of others kind of explaining why it's actually important that they engage with press, because otherwise you're just getting PR repackaged for you.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is that a lot of younger people who, and it's understandable, right? Like when I came in, when I was like 20 years ago, I was a website guy, and everyone's like, but I joined a magazine company. Still magazines made the money until 15 years ago. It was still the case. But it's like, no, I get my information from websites, and you're playing that tug of war. Whereas now, obviously, it's very established that younger people get their information from YouTubers, but it's kind of the case that it's majority the case that they get their information from journalists.
Yeah.
Right? There are a lot of journalists who are YouTubers who I admire. There's a lot of YouTubers who I admire who we'll spend time with, and hopefully have on as guests this week. But that's the thing, is that it is the kind of the pyramid, right? Is that when I fly, for example, just to pluck some out of the air, when I fly to Kojima Productions and interview Kojima guys and play the game and ask the questions and contextualize it and put it together, and then 50 content creators or X accounts, bullet point list it.
Yeah.
That's trickling. Like you might, we don't read, we don't like games journalists, we don't read websites, but you just got your information from us.
Yeah.
It's, you take that out and see what happens,
Yeah.
You're already starting to see lots of stuff come out. I mean, it's early days. I mean, as it stands, Christ, is it still June the 5th? Yeah, it's the longest.
Still launched. It's still switched.
This is a happy Switch.
It's still launched.
Because with the time zone, we've it stretched it right out. But you're already seeing stuff, right? I mean, obviously we've been on flights and we've not really been able to look at everything. But I'm already seeing people talk about problems with the screen, and
especially if it gets stapled before you even get.
Well, yeah, there's early stuff about issues with that and how certain things work, and lots of people quite surprised some missing features in Mario Kart. I played Mario Kart with my kids, and you can't play free roam multiplayer, which I thought was literally the point of the game. So my kids are really disappointed. They're like, let's play it, and then you can't do it. Yeah. Just stuff like that, right? It's like, well, it's not out there because no one's been able to test the thing. Yeah. How much did I hype up that camera before on podcasts? So good. I showed the footage, and then I took it home, and it's rubbish because we've been playing in controlled environments where the camera's there, right? No one plays games like that at home. They don't. Yeah. With a TV on this desk, with a camera, and with your mate sat here, you don't play it like that. So I'm playing in my living room. The camera can't see you, unless it's right in front of you, the official camera. So things like that, right? Yeah. It's,
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that it's still June 5th. For me, it's the lack of, we don't know if there's some big clangers with some of the games that have come out. We've had no chance to run through the big, because when you got your Switch the other day and you were like, okay, community, what do you want to see running? There's a list as long as your arm of people being like, oh, I really like this game.
Yeah, and again, this is my point in my piece that I wrote as well, is that we're having to I didn't pack for this trip until 1 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
I'm having to, get your little violin out and that. We love our job. We got an amazing job, right? We all sacrifice a lot to do this job. So I wouldn't want to be doing anything else, but it still just feels very unnecessary, right? It is very unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's awful time. It'd be a crap situation. Again, tiny violins, but in terms of a workload, it'd be a difficult situation at the best of times. But the fact that we'd already booked our flights for this before then the release date was announced,
to be fair to Nintendo and everyone that I deal with at Nintendo, from my point of view, is lovely and accommodating, and they kind of did make sure that we had. Well, certainly I did. You had to go to midnight launch.
I went. I'll tell my story in a minute. You continue.
But it's still that's where it comes from, right? Is that I know everyone watching this or listening to this, it kind of understands where we're coming from, but you get 50,000 trolls in your replies and stuff oh, you just want a free console, they really overestimate how much I give a shit.
Yeah. The fact we literally bought them,
and it's getting, you just want the clicks and it's my opinion piece about how they weren't sending press review units did more than our review ever would have done. Yeah. And I would gladly have sacrificed that. Is the bottom line is that I've been doing this 20 years. Chris has been doing this 20 years. We've covered so many Nintendo launches. We just wanted to support them. Cover
we just wanted to do a job. It's
tell our readers about it.
And it's not. I hate that they just want a freebie. If Nintendo had said to us, "We'll sell you one 2 weeks in advance." Pay full price. Well, fine. It's not a case of getting a freebie. It's covering it.
Switch.
Yeah.
I think they underestimate. I think some people don't realise what we like to do is tell people about games, and us that's why we did it early. Is just they're just tools of the job. You don't go to a fucking bricklayer and be like, oh well, you need bricks for your job, bastard.
You just want free.
You just want this. You just want this for the brick ship.
You just want to build your own conservatory and live in it. My Switch 2 story was, I podcast listener, big shout out, thank you very much. I'm not going to say the name because I can't remember if they said that I should or not, but you know who you are because you saw me last night.
Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect.
Cilla Black.
P. Diddy emailed me and said, I'm going to the midnight launch, do you want me to get one? And I was like, sure, perfect, we'll do that. Then I met them at a 24-hour garage in Elderslie at like 2 a.m, and the boss man working at the garage was just staring at me the entire time because it looked like I was like buying drugs. And then the guys pulled up and gave me it and provided energy drinks, which I appreciated. Then I went home, set the thing up, and had about 3 hours sleep. And then when I woke up this morning, I realised that I hadn't turned off the thing where it goes to sleep after 10 minutes. So fucking nothing had downloaded. So I had to very quickly be like, get Mario, get fucking Yakuza, get bits and pieces going. And the first time I played the system, like I actually played a game on the system, was on our flight earlier.
I thought I was being cunning. I went to Asda because Asda brought out a press release that nobody noticed saying 60 stores will be selling Switch 2 on day one. 7 of them will be in Scotland and one of them's in Edinburgh. So I said, I'm going there.
Edinburgh not in Scotland?
Yeah, but of the 7 in Scotland, well, it's kind of mini England. So I drove to the Edinburgh one about as soon as we finished the State of Play coverage. I was like, I'm off. Went straight to the Edinburgh Asda, and the people were because it's a 24-hour one. I thought if I'm there at midnight, legally they have to buy me. You know, you've legally got stock you can sell me. Give me your manager. I was ready for a fight. The people, the wee old woman and an old guy were unpacking the stock, and I said, do you know, I was speaking to Asda customer service, I spoke to them on Twitter earlier, and they said if they'll be selling it at midnight. Do you have any in the back? I don't know what you're talking about, son. I've never heard of a Nintendo Switch 2. This is all the stock we've got to put on the shelves. We would have had a big display up for it if we were doing. I'm off. So nothing.
So you levelled them.
So I jumped to the Smiths across the road, and at this point it's like, what, half 11? I thought there's no chance. There was already a big queue.
Full disclosure, I was sitting with Laura at this point, and when that text came in for you, I said to her, he's fucked. I thought that was it.
I thought it was fucked because, and there was somebody else in the queue was saying, oh no, I spoke to the woman earlier and she said they're going to have about 300 in. I said, there's no chance. That'll include pre-orders because a lot of them were there, they'd pre-ordered. And as we're getting in, there's a wee guy with a headphone who thought he was fucking
Britney Spears.
Aye, he thought he was like the president's fucking guard. was there going, yeah, they say they've got 20 stock left. They've got 20 left in stock, and I'm trying to count people ahead. There's like 30 people ahead of me, and I'm like, fuck, some of them will be pre-orders. So, and literally, when I got up to the front and said, are there any left to buy? A Mario Kart bundle, please. He went like that, and to the floor, behind him on the floor, there was 3. And he picked one up and gave me one. I was like, yes. And as I was going out,
I mean, it's difficult for us to gauge in Europe because in Europe, I've got friends who are like Nintendo fan friends in the US or British friends who've moved to the US.
Big Mike Jackson, start of CVG.
And it's always astounding like how much more difficult it is for them to buy Nintendo stuff like special editions, things like that. Just the competition here. It is so much greater. You're dealing with greater geography, whereas we don't really have a problem. But I mean, it's early days, and obviously we've been on a flight and stuff. But the stock seems to have gone all right.
If I wanted to, I could have had 4 on day one. Like
I've got 2.
Yeah.
So
I've got some coming that I'm going to have to return. I managed to cancel. Luckily, Amazon were late. Amazon were going to deliver on Saturday, so I managed to cancel that one.
Cancelled as well.
My Nintendo Store one turned up today or yesterday, whatever, with all the amiibo, all the Street Fighter amiibo. I don't even have Street Fighter yet, and the Zelda amiibo, and I think that's it. And my GameCube controller.
Yeah.
I managed to cancel my Pro controller because I managed to get one of those elsewhere.
Like I said in Discord, does MD need one? Because I've got 2 Amazon orders going, and everybody already
I'm going to be in a position where I have to sell one at cost to someone because I'm not going to be able to return it.
That's the thing. I don't think you'll be able to get it for any more.
I know, I won't be able to scalp it. I know, but
Amazon had pre-orders. Yesterday, I suppose.
There's a Target 10 minutes and walk from here. I'm curious to go there at some point and see what the situation. No, I don't think they'll have any in stock, but I want to see what they've got in terms of games, accessories, whether it's completely rinsed or just the consoles.
I kind of want to buy one physical game for it. I think the physical game cases look ugly as fuck, but apart from it, I kind of want to get.
Did the Switch 1 physical games have manuals?
No.
The Switch 2 physical games, I know Cyberpunk comes with stickers.
Listen, let's go and get it now.
But apart from that, I don't You've got physical Mario Kart.
I want to buy a Japanese physical game.
I think it's because the impression I got was that the codes wouldn't work.
Yeah, until because Noble got
ironically, I spent the entire day before like capturing Switch 1 games.
It was really sad in that footage of the UI, which is now on VGC's YouTube channel. There was a moment where you go into like your captures and look at Metroid Dread, and I'm like, oh, that game could pure do it.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you know, so I watch it a little bit too long.
A single tear drops the controller, and you go, yeah.
Get that running at 120.
I hope there's more Switch 2 upgrades to come, and that those 12 aren't just the only ones they're doing. I hope that's just the first batch.
It's the new drip page.
I hope so.
Like, because obviously Virtual Console, Switch Online coming across, like it's the first time they've not been able to reset it and sell you fucking Super Mario Brothers again.
Wahoo! I'd be there
so now they're going to drip free Switch. How many? By the way, like this is the thing, right? How many times do you reckon you've bought Super Mario Brothers?
NES.
Here we go.
Super Mario All Stars on the SNES. It was in Animal Crossing, one of the Animal Crossings.
I imported Animal Crossing just so to get that. There's GBA's NES Classics.
GBA NES Classics. They re-released it on Wii Virtual Console, Wii U Virtual Console, 3DS Virtual Console.
Was it not part of the Mario 25th, that red box? Was it in there?
They re-released Super Mario All Stars on the Wii, which is literally just the ROM on a disc, which was mental. I got that. And the Game Boy Color one, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, got that.
Game & Watch.
The Game & Watch, I got that. Yeah.
I've got the arcade machine as well.
And you could probably also count like NES World Championships and all that kind of stuff.
It's a bit OTT. It feels a bit OTT having that arcade machine the size of a fridge.
See, I bought the arcade, that hamster who do the Ridge Racer one. They did a bunch of Nintendo arcade games at one point, and versus Super Mario Bros. I got that.
That's the one I've got.
Wait, switching gears slightly. What's your stoner meter for that MK thing they announced last night?
100%.
You know what, I saw that and I just imagined him going.
I was just like fucking
doing the press ups.
I don't know if you noticed when they announced it, that webcam went up. That was the whole desk going up. I was like, okay.
They do amazing stuff. That's going to be so good.
We gave them Studio of the Year last year, and rightly so. But that's going to be. It doesn't look like it's part of the Gold Master series, but it looks like it's got loads of documentary stuff anyway, so it might as well be. That's going to be fucking amazing. They're promising more secrets as well, so I don't know what that's going to mean.
See, when you watched it, when the fight stick came up on the PlayStation, did you think it was a handheld for like 2 seconds?
No, because I was watching it in like an hour later, so it was if it was.
Because we were both writing a story, and when the little like a button came up, and I was like, oh, then it was like, oh, it's a fight stick, cool. I suppose because Sony own Evo, that Marvel game hasn't come to Xbox; it's only on PlayStation and PC. Like they've totally cornered that fighting game market. So
it's supposed to the Xbox handheld's supposed to be here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that we're seeing it.
No. I'll give you. Do you want me to simulate it? See that Steam Deck or fucking ASOS ROG or whatever you've got. It's like that, but it's got a wee Xbox thing on it. You get achievements. Good. Yeah. Woo!
Sold.
That's apparently here this weekend. Who can say? Lots of interesting things here this weekend.
Can I quickly give you my from the plane my Switch 2 game impressions from what I played? Ridge Racer is flawless. Fuck up. Ridge Racer is flawless. Mario Kart is great. I don't care about the open world stuff, but the actual GPs I love. Also Fast Fusion is fantastic.
That was the one that I'm meaning to buy.
Sonic performs great.
Yeah.
Was that all I played? I only played a wee bit of Welcome Tour, but I want to properly play that later. But I'm very happy with what I've played so far.
My impressions. The Mario Kart open world Wii challenges I quite liked, but I wish they were. I'm gonna get one of those in a minute. I wish they were easier to access. They're quite hard, which I like.
I wish they were locked.
Fucking amazing. Yeah.
It absolutely doesn't, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
It just doesn't.
Comparatively, it absolutely does.
Yeah, but it's like this turd, like this one.
It's not amazing by modern gaming, but
it runs a lot better.
Yes.
It doesn't look a lot better.
It does look a lot better. Like, factually, it does.
All right, let me rephrase that. It doesn't look good.
Fine. Yeah, but the Pokemon models look a lot better, and there's a lot more of them on screen.
Chris, why do you never get involved?
I knew a Pokemon model once. What a honey. let's just move on. Bringing up bad memories here. I don't get involved because
I'm also massively critical of Pokemon.
I used to be a massive Pokemon fan when I was a kid, when the first ones came out, right? I think Pokemon fans do them a disservice when they defend that shit. Like, the game should not look like that.
I don't think actual Pokemon fans do defend that shit.
I've seen so many people like, oh my, it's stunning. It's not. It looks like a mobile game from 2007. It's not acceptable.
See, that's the problem.
The biggest entertainment property.
Conversations about it because it actually does. Amazing. No, it doesn't. You can't find them over. The point is,
there are like literally single polygon scenery with no textures on them. It looks awful.
The problem
biggest entertainment property on earth.
Can I just check that this can be upended?
The problem is the conversation around the way Pokemon games look is too dramatic on both sides. It does not look amazing, but it does not look incredibly shiny.
There is hyperbole around Pokemon, right?
Yeah, massively.
But all that does is that it drowns out the legitimate fair criticism. Oh, yeah. When I'm saying that, that's really fair.
It's like you saying it looks terrible is not fair.
He looks terrible.
I think it looks like a Nintendo Switch
they
game.
Could, like, you know, put out some crown drawings and you'd be like, oh, it's stunning. Looks amazing.
I don't think that game...
It's not acceptable. It looks rubbish. It ran like paper.
On the Switch one, the performance on Switch 1 was unacceptable, and I think the art style of that game is quite shite.
There's a reason they've taken so long with this next one, right? I mean, ZA is not the proper successor. The one next, how many years is that going to be? Does it be 6 years?
No, Scarlet Violet is 2022, so if it's out next year, it'll be 4.
Right, 4 years.
And the reason that it's not this year is because next year's
there's going to be a lot of pressure around that, because they're not going to be able to get away with that again.
I agree. I, as someone who has played fucking 300 hours of Scarlet and Violet because of how much coverage you ended up doing in that game, I am very happy with the upgrade.
It's the first Pokemon game, because I play it with the kids. The first Pokemon game since probably DS or something that I've properly played. The game's good. Yeah. It just looks like an absolute turd.
I would love them to do an HD 2D game. I think that'd be fucking amazing.
Tell you what, I've been playing with a kid. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
It's a great game.
She fucking loves it.
Yeah. That's
people were down on that.
It's like it's running on a different generation.
It's the perfect kids' first Pokemon game. She really loves it.
Do you know, mine struggle with that.
Really?
With Let's Go?
Did the throwing mechanic? The throwing mechanic's not great.
The games that we used to play, like that's what they're more akin to, right? I'll give you a better example. Is like, say, Super Mario Bros. Wonder versus Super Mario Odyssey. Mm-hmm. A kid playing for the first time the freedom of an Odyssey or a Arceus, a Scarlet Violet.
Yeah.
They're not punished for exploring.
Yeah.
You can play at your own pace. You can go over here and go over there. Whereas on that sort of game, it's like, well, there's one route, and you're probably going to get like attacked or something, or something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you could lose.
I think that specifically with the Switch 2 patch, that sense of exploration works a bit better, specifically because they've made the draw distance of the Pokemon so much further, and there's so much more of them. So if you were playing it for the first time, you'd go, oh, what the fuck's that? Or let's go over here, let's go over here, let's go over there. It falls apart when you like look over to like a mountain or whatever, and it's just brown. But I think it's closer to the idea of what a Pokemon console game should be. I agree that if Gen 10 comes out and it looks like that, it's like fucking untenable, but
gonna clip that.
We shall see. That's fine. No one hates Pokemon more than real Pokemon fans. It's like
I know that.
It's like pro wrestling. Speaking of, we're going to go and have a wrestle. If you'd like to watch us wrestle, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. All weekend we'll have exclusive content over there on patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. We also have the option to gift memberships, and there's some incentives for gifting memberships, such as free games and the like pictures of Chris Scullion with his top off.
We've got lots of free games, right?
We have way more free games than we expected to have. So it turns out some people in the games industry actually like us, even though we're 3 moany-faced bastards.
2 moany-faced bastards and the guy in the middle.
And
copies of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We fished them out of the skip around the back of Pokemon.
I disavow that comment. We're going to go and get on it. We'll be back tomorrow with much more. Obviously, our largely UK audience will probably be waking up to this, so sorry about the
I've just realised it's called Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because that's the colour your faces go when you talk about them. Sorry, proceed.
The Pokemon shut the fuck up.
Edition.
I'm going to battle the pair of them if they don't let me outro this podcast. Until next time, patreon.com/VeryGamesChronicle. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
Say goodbye, Andy.
Bye.
Let's get on it. See you next time.